Come on, please. Yes! 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 Yes!
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is episode number 30 of the 9 Dart Podcast, your one-stop shop for talking tungsten. And we are back after 3 weeks away. Schedules didn't allow us to record this 2 weeks ago, and then I was quite sick a week ago. So we have missed quite a lot, and this is going to be such a big show, and we're going to get straight into it. But I will welcome Josh first. How are you?
Good. It's great to be back. It's been 2 or 3 weeks, I think.
3 weeks, just about, depending on how exactly you want to count it.
Yes.
But we're hitting double 15 today.
We're back. Yes, we are.
And reaching 30 episodes. 30 episodes.
Crazy.
Gathering about this great sport. I don't have a second screen here for me today. My other computer isn't connected to the internet, so I'm sort of podcasting in the dark a little bit here, but hopefully it'll work out. We've got lots to get through.
Oh, we sure do.
So first we'll start off with where we left off last time, which was the World Series of Darts. I enjoyed the Auckland event. The New Zealanders were a bit more competitive than the Australians and has been for the last couple of years now. It was the first time I think that they'd moved it there. It was in, I think, Hamilton last year. So the move to Auckland worked. It was good to see some new names with Tedeka and Rock playing well. And Stephen Bunting looking at the number 1 seed as well for the World Series of Finals. Yeah, Auckland was a good event, I think, and a decent way to round out the World Series tour.
Yeah, spot on. Absolutely. Yeah, there were some great results from the New Zealand guys, which we'll get to. A couple in the positive surprises segment, which we'll see, we'll unpack. But overall, the tournament, it was great. Good to see some good exposure, and the guys from New Zealand and some PDC representatives also played very well. There were no real main upsets, to say the least, by results-wise, but there were some really good quality contests, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had the Flanders Darts Trophy. That's
Sam Flanders.
Yeah, Sam Flanders of the Gold Coast Suns.
Immediately I thought that when I saw the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. No, see, that's the difference. You went to Sam Flanders of the Suns. I went to Ned Flanders of the Simpsons. Anyway, it's the second edition, and they love their darts in Belgium.
Oh, they do.
Looked at the playing darts in Belgium, and we'll get to that later on. But strong event. I didn't watch a ton of it, but darts in Belgium is going quite well at the moment. Got a Premier League night coming up next year. It's building nicely. We've got some quality players with Dimitri van den Berg and now Mike Tedeka coming along as a major winner. Belgian darts is looking quite good at the moment.
Oh, it sure is. It was good to see some lower tour cut holders also get some exposure as well, which I was going to say.
All of a sudden, one thing I did notice from the Euro Tour was, and I didn't put it down on any rundown, so I just mentioned here, Mensur Suljovic had a couple of wins. It was like, what year is it? 2018, 2017, Mensur's back? I'd even forgotten he still had a tour card. He's barely hanging on there towards the bottom of the top 64, but that was good to see for Mensur. Now we've got some crazy moments. This was August 15, so this was quite a while ago. This was at a USA Darts Pairs event. It was on Dark Connect. I can't even remember the full context behind it. But a good friend of ours, I think I can even go full screen of this. A good friend of ours is the referee, Owen Binks. So he missed the double 5, this guy, and watch him go up, and Rob fell off the stage. And the guy hit double 10 to win the match. Owen Binks wants to go over, and he says,
oh my God.
Game shot and the match. Gilman Albert won the match. Well done with about a 60-ish average. Yeah, you don't.
He broke something as well.
Yeah, you don't see that every day. Let's go back to present mode here. That was an odd thing that happened. Also extraordinary. Richard Ashdown, who works on the PDC side of things, he was offered by Luke Humphreys to hit double 3, and he was actually offered 3 darts by Humphreys. So Chris Dobie, Luke Humphreys, and Damon Hetta were there warming up on stage before the Auckland event. He said, look, coat in hand, mug in hand, 1 dart double 3 with Humphreys darts, hits it and then walks off. And Damo, Dovey, and Luke couldn't believe what they were seeing. So well done, Richard Ashdown. We absolutely love it when guys who aren't supposed to be on the stage, you know, there was the clip that went viral a little while ago of the cameraman hitting 180 in a test. Someone did that at Lakeside last year. So it is great whenever those sort of things happen, when just someone gets offered a dart and they do something ridiculous, hit a double, hit a 180.
Mug in hand
and they have footage to prove it.
We have Littler as well with the big fish.
This was at the New Zealand Darts Masters event, so going through the crazy moments. 60-60 bullseye, which has to be his favourite finish at this particular point, and reel it in. That's a great celebration too. That's right up there with with Andrew Gilding's thumbs up 180
Sure
for
is.
my favourite celebrations in all of sport. Here's Chris Dobie taking out a 167 in his quarterfinal against Stephen Bunting. He loves big finishes on the World Series. He's hit quite a few on the bull during this particular tournament, and he's going price 137, 57, tops, great finish. Tops is now just the way you go on these sorts of finishes, and it wouldn't have been done that, even that long ago, like 10 years ago, that would have been seen as a bit of a maybe unsportsman thing to do, but nowadays it's the double is bigger than the treble, so it makes a lot of sense.
It's a regular occurrence now.
It's just the tops is the way to go, and if you miss inside, you hit another single to leave tops for next time round. So it makes perfect sense as a finish.
It's funny because it used to be like a sort of arrogance thing,
a
bit of a cockiness thing, especially if your opponent is on like, let's say 281, 360.
Yeah. Well, that's a little bit different when you play a bit more conventional here. But nowadays, James Wade took out a top finish very early. James Wade in his career, and Kevin Painter was not happy with it at the World Match Play. And then at Modus, like a few years ago, at Modus, like the early days of Modus, he took out a tops finish as well. So it was just a sign of how darts have changed through the years. But Luke Littler completed the double on the World Series events in Oceania, in the sort of Australasian region, by picking up the New Zealand World Series events. And then for good measure, he goes and wins the Flanders Darts Trophy. That's 3 Belgian Euro Tour wins of 4 out of 4, because he won the Belgian Darts Open twice at the start, which is the first Euro Tour event of the last couple of years, and now he's won the Flanders Darts Trophy. Once again, proving that he is the main man in darts. He was the number 1 seed as Luke Humphries wasn't there, but and that world number 1 spot is beckoning now. I think it's only a matter of time before he is officially the world number 1, and I think he will be the number 1 seed at the Worlds.
Absolutely. I've got a question. What's that little gift bag thing he's got
it's full of biscuits, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
So
I think.
I don't even know. We can't see it from the camera angle and the picture, but I got no idea what's
I
in
think
it.
I think it was biscuits or something like that. I'll double check that maybe.
Strange.
Yeah, but look, strong weekend throughout, and he's just he's on another level at the moment. When we were saying, he hasn't won a lot of tournaments, and that's the thing about the Euro Tour. He doesn't need to go to Germany; he just wins all the tournaments everywhere else.
Some guys, and he's just incredible. Every game was over 95. 95 average against Mark Cleaver, who was very good. We'll get to him in a moment. 6-2 over New Zealand. In New Zealand, 100 average. 7-2 against Price, 108 average.
And you're thinking at this point, okay, he's going to dip down in the final. What does he average in the final?
115.02.
It's extraordinary.
Whilst Humphries is averaging 102, by the way.
Humphries did not look like he was averaging 102 either, because Littler was just that on top of him in that particular final.
And he won that 8-4.
So that's one of the
15 legs.
Yeah, over 15 legs, 115 average is extremely strong.
Mind-boggling stuff.
Yeah, so that was in New Zealand, and in the Flanders Darts Trophy, he had Josh Rock in the final.
He did. That was quality as well,
so
Rocky.
We're just going to see Rock Littler happen quite a lot, and I think we're all going to sit back and enjoy it, because that feels like to be a sort of secondary rivalry. We've got the main one with the 2 Lokes, but Littler Rock is going to be another one of these friendly rivalries that is really going to build over the next few years, you feel, with the way that Josh Rock has just gone through the roof since the World Cup.
So that matchup will be pretty common in months and years to come for sure. Rocky's in sensational form. Yeah, lost, sure, but he averaged 100 himself, 8-7. Littler again was crazy good. One against, let's see here, Searle, Heta, 6-5, Gurney, and
Heta was unlucky not to beat him too. I think he left tops.
He did.
But Littler won that particular match. He played quite well. Damon Heta over the weekend as well in Belgium at that Euro Tour. And this is the time of year where you want to be getting into form, of course, as we move into really major seasons, which I'm starting counting from the World Grand Prix. But September is a good month to start getting into form.
Sure is.
So that is certainly a great time to do that. Going back to New Zealand, you had a couple of positive drivers with Cleaver and Whitlock.
Absolutely, I did. Mark Cleaver, so he's one of the New Zealand representatives, and he was very good against Luke Littler. Sure, he was it was okay. He had 95 average, but Cleaver, he was very, very good. He just found a couple, I think he had a break of throw as well, and he held throw. He just looked good, and I was very impressed. And then on the other hand, our man Whitlock, he got he took 4 legs over Chris Dobie in the end, so that was impressive, because I talked to you off air about this. There's been conversation of, is he worthy of being in these sort of events. Obviously, the World Series is different, and obviously the World Cup, obviously being in there, got an invitation.
Yeah, these are all invitational, but has he earned the invitation at this particular point in time?
Stripes, that's right. Well, we'll see in the ANZ Premier League, which is 1 month from tomorrow.
1 month from tomorrow, the ANZ Premier League begins with the Melbourne night, which we will be there no matter what. I'm so glad that I've got ill when I have.
Right.
And I think I'm just going to mask up all through this September because I do not want to miss this particular October and this Premier League night. I think there's going to be the FA... it's not the FA Cup, it's the Australia Cup soccer final, I think, across the road at Amy Park. I think it's happening that night. So it's going to be busy times in that particular precinct, but we're all going to be focusing on the darts and what's going to happen. It's going to be so interesting to see how this ANZ Premier League shapes up, and we have updates because 4 of the 8 spots have been confirmed.
We'll get to that later.
And so we'll get to that in a moment. Over on the Flanders Darts Trophy, Daryl Gurney and Leon Weber was one that did stick out for me as a positive surprise from the Euro Tour this week.
Yes, Leon Weber, he won 6-5 against Jermaine Wadamina. He averaged 95, Jermaine, as well, but he just couldn't get over the line. And then, very impressive, a 6-4 win over Chizzy. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool for a guy who's on the lower end of the tour card. 6-2 loss against James Wade. James Wade was really good all week, actually. Had wins over Van Veen as well.
He's another one there he's threatening a top 4 spot at the moment, James Wade, which would put him right back in the Premier League as well.
That's an interesting conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's another one to look out for. But Peter Wright is one who is not in the greatest form, and he's our biggest flop for this particular week. And they were talking, again, I always like to bring up the Online Darts Live Land, and they were talking about this. And one thing that really has stood out when you look at Peter Wright over the last really 5 years, well, not even 5 years, even he won the world title in 2022. Basically, since then, the slow progression. It's not been something like Michael Smith, who dropped down the rankings quite suddenly. The form dips were there, but he went down quite suddenly. And similar with Nathan Aspinall recently, though I'm not as concerned with Aspinall. I'm a little bit more concerned with Smith. But the thing with Peter Wright has been a slow progression from he was in that elite of potentially could win this tournament. Then he fell out of that. Then he fell out of the, I'm not really sure he's going to make it to a quarterfinal. I'm not sure he's going to really make it to a deep run. And now we're sort of slightly bit more worried. I wish I could bring up the World Grand Prix race. I'm pretty sure he's 15th on the Pro Tour Order of Merit and hanging on there in terms of the race for Leicester. And so now we're starting to worry about, is Peter Wright really... Is he going to be able to get to a lot of these TV events now? And what does that do to his career going forward, which is a little bit of a sad demise for the 2-time champion of the world?
It is. Well, 74.62 average against Luke Woodhouse, which he was good as well. 6-1 victory over Wright. But it was just so disappointing. He just had such a scratchy game. He looked off. His mental state looked off. There was a lot of, that's a pretty accurate reaction of how he was thinking the whole game, really. Just could not string trebles together. He was just very, very poor, which is, it's sad to see because we've seen glimpses of Snakebite be very good.
Yeah, this time last year, he won a Euro Tour event. He played well on the World Series events in this part of the world. So we have seen glimpses of what Peter Wright can do. That World Championship run when he did he make the quarterfinal? I think it was until he ran to the quarterfinals, then got thrashed by Bunting. But he beat Luke Humphreys in that 4th round match. It was incredible throughout that particular tournament when no one was really expecting him to do much. So we've seen those glimpses of the Peter Wright of old, but they're really starting to be few and far between, I'm afraid, which is disappointing because Peter Wright has been so important to the sport as a whole.
Oh, for sure. He brings energy. He's a vibrant character, obviously, with
the hair and the walk-on and the shirt and
this one, everything. Yeah. So there's no Peter Wright party, unfortunately, this time round, but hopefully soon he can find some good form. Yeah. That's what we want.
You know what would really helped him? It would have been if there was like this tour of seniors guys playing around, and that would have really helped. But we'll get to that in a second. One disappointing moment was Gowan Price withdrawing from the tournament. Again, another one who's just so important to darts. I'm not too concerned about it at the moment. Yep. I think it was a wrist. It was a
wrist injury. Yeah.
But
which does happen, surprisingly.
Yeah, amazingly enough.
For this, yeah.
I think he's still in a good position overall. Hopefully he'll be all good for the World Series finals. Yep. Where we'll hopefully be able to see some vintage Gowan Price, and I think he's looking good to win a big pot later in the year. at the moment with the way his form has been progressing. The great debate, and I was actually this was initially in the biggest flop for what happened.
Yeah.
This happened literally, it was about 3 weeks ago. This news dropped not long after episode 29, and I've been sitting on it for ages. Out of absolutely nowhere, and I actually think it was on Phil Taylor's birthday of all days, which is the 13th of August, which was ironic given he was a big guy behind this. All the World Seniors Darts social media handles got changed to Darts World Legacy. Guys, people who bought tickets for the event that was supposed to happen at the Epsom Racecourse, what was that, the Match Play, I think it was, or the Masters, were getting tickets refunded. And it was actually John Lowe, 3-time champion of the world and a legend in his own right, first man to hit a televised 9-dart finish, was the one who came out on Facebook, basically confirmed what everyone sensed, which was the folding of the World Seniors Darts, right when it also looked like not that long ago that they were really going to build into a really good tour. It just hasn't really worked out at the moment, which is disappointing because it was quite a unique idea. It was quite, and it was really good to see guys like Phil Taylor, John Lowe, Bob Anderson come back, Keith Deller as well come back and compete in their prime. It sort of became the sort of exhibition circuit with a lot of the same guys, Robert Thornton and who else was there? Leonard Gates, John Henderson were sort of always there, and Ross Montgomery came along and won the last ever World Series. Neil Duff. So it felt like this thing could work, and what will happen? Will there be a sort of PDC attempt to do something similar like we see a Women's Series Challenge Tour? Will we see a Seniors Tour for non-tour card holders run by the PDC? Could that potentially work, maybe?
It's interesting. I don't know, but obviously the news is very, very sad, for sure. It just didn't get the same build as what we sort of thought it would be. But for the future, well, the comments here, he said, who knows, the Seniors Tour may resume in time, but obviously we don't know. Yeah, some interesting comments were made. Receiving a fabulous reception from the audience and TV viewers, I believed it was going to grow from there, but however, it was not to be. And after much deliberation, the organiser pulled the plug. It will be a blow for many who thought it was an extension to their career, which
that's the big thing. Yeah,
perfect little
and
line there.
Simon Whitlock had sort of thing now. He can go and play on this Australian side thing, so I don't think he'll be too off without it. But yeah, it was looking like, and someone like Barney could have easily transitioned. We saw him play at the Portsmouth venue for that Champion of Champion events. It could have been something that could have given these guys a bit of extra legs in their career as they were sort of getting drifting away from the big PDC side of things. But I think they're now going to have to look at their affiliate tours in their own particular countries, and maybe Modus in particular at the moment. We see Paul Lim looks like he may very well qualify for the World Championship off the Asian Tour. So those are probably going to be the routes that guys like Whitlock or we know Leonard Gates plays CDC. I think there's going to probably have to be, at least for now, if you're one of those players, more investment in that sort of thing. But yeah, the Seniors was a good concept.
It was.
It just hasn't quite worked out, and the World Seniors Darts is no more, I'm afraid.
Very, very sad. But hopefully there's some sort of PDC affiliation with it that I can make it grow again. I'm not sure, because as you said, you want extra length in your career, especially if you had really good success earlier on and you want to sort of prolong it and, have more enjoyment of the game, just to be cut short going, there's nothing really left for me at the moment. What's going to happen? Like playing some exhibitions, that's all I can do, really. But
and by all accounts, the people who were attending these World Seniors Darts were like the darts purists, the darts fanatics,
traditionalists,
the traditionalists, that sort of thing. People who would watch these guys for a long, long time. Unfortunately, it was not to be though. So the World Seniors Darts has come to an end about 3 weeks ago, pretty much pulling the plug on Phil Taylor's birthday. Ironically, given he was a big part of that right at the start and played in the first few World Championships, and as well as making a couple of finals in some of the other events. No more Seniors Darts, I'm afraid. Mitchell Lawrie has had an extraordinary last couple of weeks. And can you actually go to the rundown? Because I can't access it. Can you just read the list of events that he's won?
Yes. So
in this is like the last month to 2 months, I think.
So the Europe Cup Youth Singles Champ, the Europe Cup Youth Teams Champ, the Belgian Open Youth Champ, the Welsh Open Youth Champ, and the Welsh Open Seniors Champ.
As well.
So five of those.
5 titles in the last sort of month and a half-ish for Mitchell Lawrie, the Scot. who has looked. He's been the big breakout star this year on the youth side of things. So we'll keep an eye on the way he's going. We've been looking at guys like Walker and Jackson and guys like that, but Mitchell Lawrie over the last few weeks has been quite extraordinary, and it was at that Europe Cup in particular where he won the seniors and looked very, very good. So Mitchell Lawrie was the guy I'm showing out this week. I've sort of talked about him before, but yeah, that record at Resume over the last month and a half, 2 months is quite something. Time for the latest news, and Stephen Bunting had an extraordinary, I should have worn the shirt, extraordinary couple of days. He won every match he played bar one, which was a final. Event 24 was won by Jeffery de Graff, where he beat Stephen Bunting in the final. And then Stephen came back the next day and won a Place Championship 25. So in 24, de Graff came through. Some good name players in there. Joseph de Souza making the last 32, which is the rest side these days. Michael Smith getting to a last 16 and winning pretty comfortably all the way through, except for that Joseph de Souza, which needed the last leg, and Adam Paxton too in the first round. And then come to 6-2 over Suter in the quarter, 7-1 over Scott Williams, and then he had to battle. And 106.3 average from Stephen was not enough, as Jeffery de Graff got the win 8-7.
He had 102 himself, 0.1. de Graff.
Yeah, extraordinary game. And then the following day, Bunting came along and just decided to average above 98 the whole way through. Average 111 against Mario van der Behada, 105 against Richie Edwards, 106 against Gordek, 105 again against Vessel Nyman. And so across that match, across those 4 matches there, he's gone 24 legs won, 8 lost.
Wow.
And he's averaging... and his worst average there is 105.67. So that is in each individual match. So that is extraordinary darts from Stephen. He dipped below there for the rest of the day, 98 in the semi-final, which he was able to get over the line, 7-6 against William O'Connor, and then 8-6 over Johnny Clayton, who continues to have a pretty good year, winning yet another title. And after a lot of defeats on the floor last year, was like 5 or 6 or something ridiculous, including 3 in a row on one particular weekend. Very, very good to see Stephen Bunting in the greatest of form. And again, this is the time of year where you want to be averaging 105.
Exactly right. Good to see O'Connor make a semi-final as well.
Yeah.
That's pleasing. But for Bunting, yeah, he was great, and you were absolutely chuffed.
I was very happy. I wasn't feeling particularly well at this point in time, so that was something that was making me smile quite a bit. Sure. Speaking of the World Series of Darts, which we talked about earlier, and speaking of Stephen Bunting, he is the number 1 seed. He was able to lock that away. Luke Littler is the 2 seed, going 3, Humphreys 4, Rob Cross 5, 6 is Chris Dobie, 7th is Nathan Aspel, and Mike De Decker was 8th. I think he won a tiebreaker over Hetero and Van Gerwen. But this is how lines up. Any matches that stand out to me? The big one for me is Wessel Nyman and Michael Van Gerwen.
Yes,
we might very well see Nyman do what he did to Aspinall at the match play. One thing, though, the MVG action does look a little bit better. He hasn't quite got the results with it yet, but, dart to double a bit better now, I think. So we'll see. We continue to watch to see with that action of Michael Van Gerwen. Paul Simon Whitlock, who once again gets another invite to these sort of events, and now he's got to run in against Luke Littler.
I'll be very interested to see how he goes in that one. If he can pull off a few legs. Yeah,
but big shout out to guys like Jason Brandon and Johnny Tartar in particular, guys who have non-tour card holders who won a match, which have been able to get them there. So that is coming up on the 12th to 14th of September, so not far away at all.
Yeah, some good matches there. Yeah,
Humphreys Wade could be an interesting one as a first rounder.
Dedeca Clemens could be good as well. Ratarski Rock, that could be interesting. Yeah, it's a few decent matches there.
Heta Cullen as well.
Yes,
could be a bit of anything.
Menzies Right could be a bit of anything too.
Yes, it goes. Menzies Right. That could be the greatest and the worst darts match of all time. Two interesting Scottish characters getting along there. Right, so that will be coming up in a few weeks, which is the next big one on television. The World Series of Darts, I say big one on television. It's the least minor of the majors, question mark. We're not doing that debate today. You can go back and listen to previous episodes for what counts and what doesn't count as a major. But 12th to 14th of September is the World Series of Darts finals. That no one doubts. That's the drawback there. Stephen Bunting, the 1 seed, playing Danny Noppert. The Australian inclusions are Whitlock playing Littler and Heta playing Cullen. Right. Speaking of Australia, where, as we mentioned right from the top, we are one day. We're recording this on the 3rd of September, so tomorrow is the 4th of September, and a month beyond that is the ANZ Premier League. It kicks off with the Melbourne night,
John Cain Arena,
using the same format as the BetMGM Premier League. That's part of the PDC Triple Crown, arguably. And this, we have half the field. So half the field is locked in. Simon Whitlock, we know, was given that wild card spot deservingly. So Joe Comito is going to be at Ali Pali yet again. He played in the opening game of the tournament last year. And he will be back having won off the DPA Order of Merit. Brodie Kling and James Bailey finishing 2nd and 3rd through as well. Currently, Raymond Smith and Tim Pusey are top 2 on the ADA side of things. Their final weekend is this week in Melbourne over at Melton. We'd love to get them there. It's a bit far away.
It is a bit far away.
But yeah, Friday the 5th, one event, 2 events on Saturday the 6th, and all concluding Sunday. Interesting to see is I may have even not mentioned this on the podcast. We've already talked about Raymond Smith not going to Ali Pali. Is his intention to go to the Lakeside instead as part of this plan. For that reason, it probably doesn't make a lot of sense to play in a tournament which has an offer for you to go to the PDC World Championship. But we'll see what he does there. Raymond Smith and Tim Pusey are currently in those top 2 positions. Johnny Tata leads the DPNZ Order of Merit, and that concludes towards the end of September. And also there is a playoff with the top 16, what will be the top 16, and the winner of that playoff also gets into the ANZ Premier League. The winner of the DPNZ and ADA Tour as well get this that top spot. But it will definitely go to 2nd in that regard because Raymond Smith will definitely not be going to Alexandra Palace. So we've got 4 of the guys in.
Interesting.
We'll probably see 6 Aussies and 2 Kiwis. And we're looking forward to it, aren't we? It's going to be so good.
Who are you most looking forward to seeing? Obviously, Whitlock.
Whitlock is obviously a big name.
I'm looking forward to seeing Kling.
Yeah.
I know you're a massive fan of Pusey.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Tim Pusey at the moment. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from there. And we'll do predictions and that sort of thing about the Premier League. But Joe Comito's been very strong as well on the DPA side of things. So I am as of this point in time, I'm leaning towards guys like, when we eventually do our predictions, guys like Comito and Pusey definitely being there in Brisbane at the end. We'll see with the field. Sam Whitlock's an interesting one because he probably should be making Brisbane, but who knows with his form sort of thing. It's going to be very hard to predict.
Very much so.
I don't think our predictions for the ANZ, for the main Premier League were particularly well. Mine certainly weren't. But we had the Lukes in there, and I presumed it was just going to be Michael and Stephen easily, and completely missed Gezi and Nathan. So it will be interesting. By the way, I keep reading that the finals night is going to be a round robin, even though I've also read another place that it's going to be a straight knockout. So I'm not sure how finals night is going to work in Brisbane. I hope it's a round robin into a final, because that would be a bit more interesting.
It would be.
And a bit different, instead of just 2 semi-finals and then a final. So we'll see it. We'll see what it ends up being when we get to Brisbane at the end of November. Yeah, that one's at Nissan Arena, but John Cain Arena is first up, and Melbourne, we're a month from tomorrow. We've been waiting for it so much, and we can't wait for it. Simon Whitlock, Joe Comito, Brodie Kling, James Bailey will be there. I expect Tim Pusey and Johnny Tata to be there, even though I've actually got the New Zealand Order of Merit a bit further down on this rundown. So I'm just so looking forward to this Premier League, because it's going to be so interesting to see what it does to Australian darts and how big the crowds are and how involved are there, and who we're going to, and Ross Bray being there as well is also going to be great. Will we see another referee? It would actually make a lot of sense, and I said this to you off air. It would make a lot of sense because George Noble is retiring to get whoever is going to be that replacement out in this ANZ Premier League. But availability. So Owen Binks would be great. I'd love to see Binksy.
I'd love to see Binksy. I'd love to see him. Yeah.
There's a lot of commitments at Modus, so we'll wait and see.
So I said to you, they got plenty of refs at Modus as well, though.
They do. So it could very easily be we bring in this guy for a few weeks, then this guy for a few weeks, this guy for a few weeks. So it will be interesting. Because I can't imagine Ross Bray doing all games all night, but who knows? Maybe they'll make him.
John McDonald, come out, please.
We'd love to see the MC. Yeah, there's going to be so many things that I'm going to find interesting about this MC. Who we get in terms of any commentary and refereeing. Not that we'll be able to look into it much on that opening night, given given we'll be there, and so we won't give you much information on the TV broadcast, but we'll be following it, and we'll be very deliberately trying to give you. You'll be the number one place for Australian darts over the next few months. We'll be extratimemedia.com and the 9 Dart Podcast. So make sure to
Instagram, TikTok.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
I'm gonna put out a funny meme that I've sent to you already. I've got about 4 memes lined up for this month in the lead up to it, so we can't wait. We were bouncing off the room that day in Devon's class, and we still are today.
Yes, we will. But when we came across the fact it's coming to mind, we're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Right. Beau Greaves is someone though who has basically booked her spot at Alexandra Palace as well off the women's series, though she may even get in off the development tour as well, which could lead us seeing 5 women at Alexandra Palace, which would be extraordinary. And she won all 4 women's series events, event 17 to 20, beating Flanders Darts in one final, Linda Graff in the second, Flanders Darts again, Lisa Ashton last up. She is just extraordinary what she's doing at the moment, and some strong performances in there with averages 90, 94, 98. Has dipped off a little bit on that event 20 final, but otherwise just a very strong weekend once again for Beau Greaves, who continues to prove herself as top of the women's game, and for my top 100 player in the world, men's or women's, anywhere in the world, any region.
Hasn't she won like 40 games in a row or something?
It's something like that.
Something remarkable.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it sounds about right. I'm pretty sure. I think I heard on the Tops and Tails podcast with Hugh Ware.
Yeah.
He did an interview with her, I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I want to say. Maybe a fraction earlier. I'm not sure. So that was a great interview. Go and listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. But she was fantastic. Yeah, she had a 107 average against Jane Gafford in event 19. If you want to have a look at that one, that is remarkable. Insane.
In the semi-final. I was trying to look for it because I was looking at 19 going, where is this? Yeah, 107 average in the semi-final, that is strong. So, but she's currently in a position to get both a world championship spot and a tour card off the development tour as well. So we could easily see Beau Greaves go off the Dev Tour. She's also 7th on the Challenge Tour as well. I'm pretty sure that's that way around. And then it's and we could easily Lisa Ashton, we already know, is there, having won the Women's World Match Play. And then we could easily see, I think the next 3 are Fallon, Noah Lynn, and Gemma Hayter off the Women's Series order match. So we could see those 5, and that's a great group of 5 competing at Alexandra Palace, which would be extraordinary and a great coup for women's darts to get one more than even the initial plan was. With Beau Greaves playing so well on the open side of things. But Beau Greaves just continuing to dominate at the moment.
Going well on time, 12:40.
Brilliant. Plenty happening on the Challenge Tour as well. Joe Hunt picked up his first ever PDC title on the Challenge Tour.
Yes, he did. This is from a few weeks ago, but still relevant today, no doubt. Had some good wins. Ashley Coleman, he's a name we've been talking about. Scott Campbell was there as well. 5-4, 5. Yeah, it's just some really good results. 94 average against David Evans. 98 average against Yulton McDye. I hope I said that right. Some really good results. So good to see him get his first ever PDC title. Also had David Davies win Challenge Tour at 18, his first one as well. Some really cool ones here as well. 96 average against Nathan Gervin, who's a young gun, as we know.
I've mentioned him before.
Yes, he has been mentioned on the Future Stars segment. So, some really good results for him. So, good to see him get the victory as well. And last but not least, Scott Waite's second ever PDC title.
Yes, I had to correct you on this one. Do you know what the first one is? Do you know what his first PDC title is?
Sorry, no, I don't.
The 2010 Grand Slam of Darts. He beat James Wade in the final, coming from like 8-0 down in a race to 16. He was a member of the BDO at the time.
Now defunct.
The now defunct BDO. So, that was a big upset at that particular time. Yeah, that was a long time ago. He typically did play just in the BDO side of things. He actually has some unsavory words in a couple of interviews on the PC, and then ended up getting a tour card not long after, which proves Barry O'Hearn just will beat you all the way eventually. Even the great people from the BDO side of things who were not big fans of the PDC, people like Ted Hankey and Scott Waite, ended up getting tour cards when it ran their course in the BDO. He won his second ever PDC title, having previously won a TV title 15 years ago.
2010, you said?
2010 Grand Slam of Darts against James Wade.
He's now playing some good stuff, James Wade.
He is. He's been playing good stuff for a long, long time. So this is the Challenge Tournament. I'm pretty sure this is all still correct up to date. There's Beau Greaves in 7th. It's Darius Labanauskas, former Modus Super Series Champions Week winner. The great Lithuanian on top from Stefan Belmont. Ted Everts rounding out the top 3. Mervyn King's also in there. He's had a good year. There's Scott Waite's as well in the top 8. Danny Van Tripe's in there as well.
Yes. It is indeed.
PDC China Championship. This is another one for I'm going to keep this running list of international qualifiers because it's just a fascinating side of things. So, Zhong winning the China Championship, which puts him into Alexandra Palace. He will be there.
Yes, he did. 2-0 win in the quarterfinal, 2-0 semi-final, 3-1 in the final.
I'm going to assume that's set play.
Yes, set play. Sorry,
yeah.
I should mention
that makes
set play.
Sense.
Yes, it does. Yeah, so many different tournaments in the Challenge Tour all have different set play.
Like even in the DPA side of things,
DPA as well.
There's 3 tournaments every weekend, 2 leg play, and then 1 set play. But
Sunday,
I don't mind it.
Sure.
The next gen, the PC next gen in Germany, they're fascinating. I might actually bring this up next week and show you on the 2025 PC Wikipedia page, where they have every tournament is a little bit different. They've got double in, double out. They've got FA Cup style, UK Open style, open draw. They've got seeding. They've got master out. Every event is something a little bit different, which is actually quite a good way of doing it. And that sort of variety shows what you can do with the dartboard. Yeah, but Zhong has qualified for Alexandra Palace. This was what I was mentioning earlier. These are the race for the World Championship on the DPNZ side of things. So there's Johnny Tartar just in front of Ben Robb in second, John Hurring and Mark Cleaver. Next, you can see Haho Puha, the tour card holder, also has competed in some events. He's currently in 6th. On the CDC side of things, Adam Savada is through. He will be at Ali Pali. He's currently ahead on the Pro Tour of the CDC with 3 events to go, ahead of Stowe Bunce and David Cameron, the Canadian dart player, not the former UK Prime Minister. Leonard Gates is already qualified as well, as we know. He's 5th. Some other notable names, Jason Brandon there in 7th. Oh, Larry Butler, the 1994 World Match Play champion. He's still going around. He's 16th. He's the only American to ever win a big PDC title. He beat Dennis Priestley in the final in the first ever World Match Play edition. First ever PC tournament where the late great Sid Waddell was on commentary for us. He missed the World Championship.
There you go.
So this is the full update on the international qualifiers. So we have Lisa Ashton. Yeah, there's a lot of text in here. So Lisa Ashton has qualified off the women's World Match Play. Beau Greaves has qualified off the women's series, but she may very well qualify, and I expect she probably will qualify off the Dev Tour. Zhong, as we already mentioned, won the China Championship. Leonard Gates is through off the CDC Cross Border Challenge, and Adam Savada is off the CDC Order of Merit. Andreas Harrison and Timo Harju have gone off the PDC Nordic and Baltic Tour, and Joe Comito off the DPA Pro Tour. The next one is September the 8th, which is an important day for me because of the day I was born. The African Darts Group Qualifier will be happening on that particular Monday. I presume that the 2 big names in African darts, Cameron Crowlison and Peter Wright, will be there. One will assume. So this time next week, we will have the African qualifier off the back of this. Still, the big thing for me, still, we don't know what that 120th and final spot still says TBC. So in terms of looking ahead, I know this isn't the week ahead yet, but if we look ahead here, the next big one after that would be September the 14th, which is the Asian Tour wraps up then. So does Paul Lim make it? We'll know by then. There also should be there's also a PDC Asian Championship as well, which the winner and runner-up get in through as well. So he could even finish 6th on that Order of Merit, Paul Lim, and then hope someone in the top 5 makes that final and he gets in anyway. So that could also happen. But a lot of these are coming up. They're wrapping up in October and November, wrapping up in sort of start of October. We know the ANZ Premier League is one that's wrapping up. The ADA is also wrapping up this weekend, so we know that. So that's the other big one, September the 7th. I have just been thinking about how I would do this, and I was listening to the Mission Darts podcast with Andy Cornwell and Matthew Edgar, and Andy in particular was talking about how there's 4 tour card holder qualifiers, which feels a bit much at this point. I think what I would do if I was in charge of this, I would take out 2 of those tour card holders, so you just have 2 from the tour card holder get through. I'd have an additional spot in Africa and have it more as an order of merit sort of thing. They already have a tour with, I think it's North and East and South Africa, get their own. It's Southern Africa, not just South Africa. It's not just the country. So I have 2 African qualifiers, expanding it and having it more of a proper tour than any one-off event. And I'd give the other spot to 4th on the Challenge Tour, because at the moment it's 3, 3, and 3 off the Challenge Tour, Development Tour, and Women's Series. But the other 2 also get an extra spot because of the World Youth Champion of the Women's World Match Play, and that doesn't particularly make much sense to me. So that's how I would do it. Who knows? Well, is this one place TBC? It might just be one place TBC all the way through, and then who knows?
You can be in there. It's for you.
It might be for me. I was thinking it could very well be a World Seniors thing, but now that they followed, I don't know if that happens. Well, it would probably be Ross Montgomery coming through, having won the World Seniors Championships. That would have made a lot of sense as a spot. But that's not to be anymore.
Actually. Yeah.
So that's one that could have happened. But we'll see. But I'm not sure if they were playing a one-off event or that sort of thing, or something with the ADC maybe. Who knows? But it is going to be something a bit bonkers. I'm predicting most likely. It's probably going to be a open. Anyone who can get to this time at this day in this part of England, any rando can come along, and you and I could sign up if we really wanted to, and potentially make it to the World Championship.
With my 50 average, yeah, great.
Yeah, exactly.
And growing.
Continuing on with the latest news, Red Dragon and the Bull Hitters.
Yes, the Bull Hitters, who I've been following for a long time. Ollie Howard, obviously, was in the Modus.
It's one of your few decent takes on this particular program when you said that Ollie Howard expected to play at Modus, and that's what will happen.
Group C, so yeah, he played with Peter Wright and then went to there. So that's a great take from me that I still live up to these days. So yeah, they had a signing with Red Dragon, which is good effort. That's a testament to their work that they've done over TikTok and Instagram. So well deserved. They do some great work with past players and players like they had the MVG example I mentioned a few weeks back. So they're doing great things for sure.
Absolutely. Speaking of Modus, I know because he's talked about it on his channel and on the aforementioned Mission Darts podcast. I know Matthew Edgar will definitely be at the Modus Super Series in this series at some point in October. I don't think he'll be in Group A. I think he'll be in Group B or C.
Oh wow!
He actually knows. You actually know quite ahead of time who's in your week at Modus, but they obviously don't release it until the start of just the end of the previous week. So I do know for a fact that Matthew Edgar is planning to Primetime is planning to be at Modus. This is how long this felt like ages ago. But Jeff Smith beat Jimmy Van Ski to win Modus Super Series Series 11 and pick up the Modus Super Series title and add his name to the great of so many great names who have particularly won that. Luke Littler most notably twice. 4-3 in the final against Jimmy Van Ski. We were so close on my prediction of it's going to be one of the Vans. We were one leg away, but not to be. But Jeff Smith, the Canadian, picking up the title.
Got some words next slide with the great Paul Nicholson as well.
Champion from Series 11, the first North American to win.
First North American.
Jeff, this must mean a hell of a lot to you.
Yeah, it's playing that game and all the crowd support Jimmy had. I wish I was that.
We're going for him.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. I can't even believe I got this.
So he's stunned. It was obviously a great week for him, and £25,000 an invitation to the ADC Global Championships in November.
Oh yes, of course.
So very,
you always remember about the ADC
good.
Global Championship, don't you?
Of course.
Right. Following that, we had a Rising Star week where Henry Coates came out victorious. This was a good week and a strong final too. Better numbers than that Series 11 final. Just on 100 average for Henry Coates, beating Ryan Brownlee just over 100 average.
5-1-80s from him as well. Wow.
Yeah,
incredible.
That's good over 7 legs.
Yeah, so that was some great quality darts to expose the youth. Very, very good. So he had the nice Rising Star win there, which is cool. And now we go to the international pairs. Adrian Lewis made his return.
Adrian Lewis was back, and it was so good. It was Group B as well, which is the best time slot to watch from an Australian point of view.
Yes,
that starts at like 10, 11 o'clock over there in
10 p.m.
England,
I
which
don't
is
understand
extraordinary.
why they start that late over there. But for us, I'm not complaining. It was nice.
But for us, it was good to see. Yeah, it's a perfect time slot for Australia.
Beautiful.
And
Friday morning.
Yeah, so I think they did it that way. I mean, it was obvious. We just assumed he was going to be put in Group A, but it probably made most sense to put England there to give them the best shot of making it. They didn't quite make it, usually, but with their record, usually that is enough. But unfortunately, with the strong group they had, they weren't quite able to do it. But he looked pretty good, Adrian Lewis. Looked pretty happy. The action was pretty good.
To see him there.
Yeah, the action was pretty good. Some of the darts were going a bit low on that.
So did you know? I think he actually threw it a little bit lower.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was a slight. Yeah, he's made some changes to the technique sort of things, but it was just good to see him there, and we'll see how he goes going forward. But it was John O'Shea and Conor Heenahan for Ireland, who were the strong pairing, who took out a 4-2 win over Wales. Richie Burnett again, just doing Richie Burnett things, and Parry as well was his partner. But Ireland winning the second ever edition of International Pairs, which has been a strong addition to Modus. It has been great.
Unfortunately, no Australia this time around. Hopefully, the next installment,
hopefully number 3, probably next year.
Maybe we'll find out. Mason Simon, that'd be a great comment. But we nearly had an unbelievable pairs 9 dart on 3 bulls. Let's play this now.
This is
extraordinary.
Sweden versus Scotland.
Yes.
Osland come in, hit a 180. Then our man Andres Harrison, who's tried to go this way individually before.
Bang, bang,
So
bang.
3 treble 20s, then 3 treble 19s,
71.
leave 3 balls. He went for it.
Oh, wow.
Well, no! That dart is so close. That would have been the greatest 9-dart finish of all time.
On TV as well.
Televised on Pluto TV.
So look at that. That just shows it
that is
right
the end
there.
result for those listening. Oh, those listening on audio.
Painful.
2 in the ball and then 1 missing in a sort of westerly direction in the 25, only just
Close to
outside of the wire.
Oh,
An
painful, man.
extraordinary effort, it has to be said,
was
from the Swedish
unbelievable.
pair. It would have been. We have never seen a pair's televised 9-dart finish, and if that had happened, we might as well just have packed up and gone home. that is absolutely extraordinary stuff
Running
from
out
the
of time.
international
We've
pairs.
got 7 minutes left.
All right, brilliant. Influencer darts showdown to 5. It was good to see guys like Jane Walker back there again, and Steve Beaton as
Robert
well was there.
Thornton
With
as
Alex
well.
Spillman, Robert Thornton.
Spellman.
So it's good to see. That is a fun event. Owen Binks can be a bit theatrical with his refereeing in those particular games. He can get upset about which way people are going, which is extraordinary. So this is where we sit in the year. It's through most of it. We've got Series 12 has begun. There is still a double trouble week in between in the middle of Series 12 as well. There's the Series 12 Champions Week at the end, and then into the ADC Global Championship. This is the Week 1 Group A lineup. So some big names there: Jason Brandon, Alex Spellman,
Brian Roman as well.
Some big names.
Kurt Parry's back.
Kurt Parry back.
Chaz Barstow. So that's an
Daryl
interesting lineup.
Daryl Fitton, a great name in Group C. This is how things stand at the time of recording. Group A, 10 matches played in all for everybody, and it's Daryl is at the top, which is not necessarily what I would have predicted going into the week. But Rahman and Spellman are 1 match behind. So that's where that's at. That was. You didn't change that because that was my that's when I won.
That was a victory, but that was like from 3 weeks ago.
That was from 3 weeks ago.
We haven't played since then.
We haven't played. I haven't picked up a dart since I fell ill because I've had too much to do, and so I just wanted to recover. So
I played horrible. He played well. Now this week, Czech Darts Open, 5th to the 7th, was in Prague.
It's in Prague.
Yeah, so there are some of the names
Prague,
that will
Czechia.
feature. Peter Wright, MVG, Humphreys, Littler, name a few. So that'll be a good event as always. They love their darts over there. So
yeah, another strong event. Remember the Darts Archive? Remember we did this? Nathan Aspinall, and this was an interesting watch given that Nathan Aspinall ended up winning this match, 110 average. This one was fun. He's given just to look at where these two guys are now, both out on the top 16, both have lost the prize money that was bulking onto their rankings. This was Nathan Aspinall right after winning that one match play, so he was at his pomp, so to speak. But that was a good match. Aspinall won with 110 average. Now this week,
I haven't looked at it. I don't know.
This
what
week
it is.
we'll only go back to last year.
Okay.
To the Czech Darts Open last year when we saw one of the most extraordinary matches in the history of the European Tour. To the point where you're going to see the averages there. It doesn't give away the result, but you'll see the 2 averages of the 2 compatriots. Luke Littler and Michael Van Goen in last year's Czech Darts Open. Do you remember this one? The averages were insane. And the loser of this match will post the highest losing average ever seen on the European Tour, is what Dan Dawson will say at the end. This is an extraordinary match, and 2 guys just in their pop. Last year, a lot when Littler and Van Goen played each other, they brought out some extraordinary matches. So one of the great games in the history of the Euro Tour at last year's Czech Darts Open was a quarterfinal matchup, best of 11, Luke Littler versus Michael Van Goen. He was having an extraordinary week, Luke Littler, in that particular tournament, and that was when he was at his absolute best. An insane game. Right.
All right. That's all we have time for today. What a show.
What a show. So much we've gotten through. Next week, what will we talk about? Czech Darts Open, obviously, will be the main story. ADA will have been all wrapped up, and we'll know 6 of the 8 ANZ Premier League spots, and hopefully we'll get any confirmation on whether Raymond Smith actually intends to play or not in that PDC affiliate tour.
More Modus as always.
There's going to be more Modus, and there's going to be a lot to preview in the next few weeks. We'll have that African qualifier winner as well.
Yep.
So much going on. Maybe, who knows? Peter Wright of the world? Who knows? I think it'll be hard. If Cameron Corliss in there, he'll be hard to beat. But
dream.
We'll see what happens there. So much to look forward to in darts, and we're going to be your number 1 spot for Aussie darts in particular as we build towards the ANZ Premier League, which is just about a month away, Josh. 1 month away. It's going to be absolutely extraordinary, that Premier League night in Melbourne. It's going to be so interesting to see how who gets there and how that tournament unfolds and what it does to darts in this part of the world.
Absolutely. What a show.
Alrighty. Thank you very much for listening. We've hit double 15.
We have.
We'll wrap it up there.
Pleasure.
Like and subscribe next time you haven't already. As already
Instagram,
mentioned,
TikTok.
follow the Instagram and TikTok of the
Time
Nine Dart
Media.
Podcast. And
Articles coming your
there'll
way.
be plenty of darts articles. I hope to get out plenty of darts articles, darts related, or we do, on extratimemedia.com. So check out the website as well. And there'll also be plenty of stuff on there about AFL football as we head into the final series there.
Of course.
But what a week it's been in darts, and
Absolutely.
we will see you in a week time for another
week.
big show. This has been the 9 Dart Podcast.